Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. Coach Brad here with Action Coach, and I'm here with Ashwath with Culture Media. Ashwath, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure to have you on. So do me a favor, tell me a little bit about you and your business.
Yeah, of course. I'm Ashwath, and I'm the founder and CEO of Culture Media. I'm also a student at the George Washington University in DC, and Culture Media is a creative agency that works with social impact organizations and nonprofits to help them with their creative needs. So we do everything from social media management, where we come in and handle, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, or we do graphic design, we do website development, all kinds of creative things. But we do it for people who want to give back to the community. So we're 8 months old. We have a team of about 7. We're all students, but we're super excited to kind of take on 2020 and grow the business.
That's awesome. What year are you in at George Washington?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, and you've had the business for about 8 months. So
Yeah.
uh, help me understand again, you work with exclusively with nonprofits?
Yeah, so we exclusively work with nonprofits, but also for-profits that have some kind of tie-in to the community. So they have
Gotcha.
to give back to the community. So they can be startups, but also like they have to have some kind of social justice or social change purpose.
That is really cool. That is really cool. Um, Tell me, during the COVID-19 crisis here, what have you done differently from others or your competition that's made you more resilient?
I think one of the things we've kind of done differently is I'm not sure if this is what we've done differently, but I'll just walk you through a few of the things we've done. So one of
Sure.
them is to start a communications package for people where we help them navigate the crisis in terms of communication, because a lot of people don't know how to talk to others in this time. And so just figuring that piece out is through our program called New Community Messaging, and that's something we're doing. But I think most of our focus has been honing in on internally our own organization, and then on our existing customer base, and making sure that they have what they need. And so just making sure we do that. But I think one of the things we've done as an organization is stress on the importance of mental health, and that individuals should take care of it, which is why we kind of foster partnerships between our clients, so that our mental health professional client is helping our startup client. And so just making sure that everyone knows each other, and fostering collaboration is one thing I feel like we've done differently.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, um, with our coaching business, Ashwath, we have something we call a tribal selling proposition. In other words, it's that selling proposition that's designed to attract and to lure in your grade A client.
Right.
What has been the result of to your selling proposition as a result of COVID-19? How's it kind of changed?
Our selling proposition, to be honest, has pretty much stayed the same. Our value proposition initially is that we help social impact organizations reach young people more effectively, because Gen Z is not represented across different agencies, and we're 40% of the consumer market. And so we kind of take our experiences as young people and convey them to organizations, and convey them to people we're pitching to. And so that pretty much has stayed the same. But I think one of the ways the business has changed is that there's more need for it now, because everyone's online, and there's so many people online. And so how do people stand out in so much noise? And so just making sure that like people understand that is something we've been trying to convey and work into our pitches and how we communicate with people. So definitely, like, I feel like the piece that like there's more people online than ever before is something we've kept in mind.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be really interesting to see once things get back to, I guess, what the new normal is going to be.
Right.
How
Right.
much of our day-to-day now during the crisis mode here is going to actually stick around. I think we're going to see probably
Exactly.
more than not, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So what has been the biggest impact COVID's had on your business?
We've seen losses in revenue as a result of COVID, I think, because, one of our clients was a transportation startup. And as you know, transportation is virtually non-existent now. So we have seen that kind of loss in revenue, but we know that client is coming back eventually. And so, that's been the major one. But I think another big kind of hit we took is in terms of we've been adding on a steady number of team members. We've added on about 3 in the last, in this week and in the coming weeks. And so it's just kind of figuring out how to manage them more effectively, which is more difficult because, we have 4 existing team members and then 3 new ones. How do we kind of mesh everyone together and make sure that everyone knows each other so that once we actually come back, to DC and we're back in session, how do we make sure they're all like in sync and can work together effectively? So I think team bonding and especially with a startup, I think the team is extremely important. And so I feel like we have to struggle hard to make sure that piece fits in.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, 8 months into your business here, you guys are really pretty much geared to thrive in just this kind of environment. And actually not only geared to thrive, but help others do the same. So good for you. I think that, man, you kind of sold under a lucky star there. Not to make light of the COVID situation, but yeah, it sounds like from your selling proposition and your service offering, you're ideally geared to help people out through this.
Right, for sure.
So thinking overall, both just society overall or business overall, you're a student, you're a business owner. What do you think the biggest challenge either has been, is currently, or is yet to happen?
I think, I can speak specifically to the business. So I think our biggest challenge right now is definitely customer acquisition. The main way I've kind of attracted clients is by meeting them in person and talking to them, because it's much easier to stand out, as a student, as a digital marketing person when they actually see me, instead of online when there's 10 people who are sending the same exact message that I am on LinkedIn. And so I think customer acquisition, is our biggest challenge right now, and is going to be our biggest challenge in the next 1 year, because I doubt events are going to come back. And so just figuring that piece out, I think, is really important to our business, and making sure we understand what to do with that piece is really important to the business.
Got it. Okay. Interesting question for you, given that you're a student and your company is so young. So it's been said, smart people learn from the mistakes, but wise people learn from others' mistakes. So in the brief time you had the business open, and this will be probably speaking directly to young entrepreneurs who are getting their feet under themselves with their new businesses. What is a mistake you've made in the last 8 months or so that you can share that might help other entrepreneurs avoid that mistake?
I think one of the mistakes we've kind of made, or I feel like one of the mistakes we've made is not hiring fast enough. I feel like a lot of times we've just kind of like contemplated bringing on new people and making sure we bring on people slowly, but I feel like we've been too slow, because as a business, people are our most important asset. We're a services business, and people are providing that service. So if we were to hire faster, we would be able to scale faster. So I think that's, if I were to do it again, I would hire faster so that we could grow faster. But again, I feel like that mistake is not as big of a mistake. I feel like, it's been fine and we've survived, and, we're, going to scale, but I would do that better, I guess. It's not a mistake per se, but hiring faster is something I would do.
Okay, fair enough. And I think you're absolutely right. Speaking as somebody who's I opened my business a little over 4 years ago, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't hire near fast enough, and I probably endured some pain I didn't need to. If I'd hired faster, but live and learn. I'm the type of person that typically learns the hard way after multiple mistakes, but that's great.
Right.
So second to last question, Ashwath, and I wanted to again thank you for coming on. So we've got your contact info, we got your email address, and your website. Is there anything else you'd like to include? Any offers, any bundles you're doing, anything you'd like the public at large to know about y'all?
Yeah, so right now, one thing we're doing with any organization is a 1-hour free consulting session where they can come in and talk to me, and we'll help them with whatever they need in terms of their online presence. So I'd like to just offer that to anyone who's listening, where they can just sign up through our website, and I'll talk to them.
Awesome. That's a great offer. Thank you for that. So last question. Thinking about the last 6 or 7 weeks since this whole thing kind of hit the States, what do you see has been the most inspiring thing to you today?
Inspiring thing?
Yes.
I think one of the most inspiring things has just been people coming together. I feel like, you can focus on the experiences where there's people, protesting, but I feel like one of the things I've been focusing on is people coming together, to get out grants, to, give food to people, and a lot of innovation that's been taking place. There's, high schoolers coming out with delivery robots and things of that sort. So I feel like, the way people are reacting to the crisis is amazing and inspiring. And I feel like if people were to just focus on those people who are, doing those things, everyone will be so much more happier and will also be able to collectively grow out of this.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for that insight. And yeah, I wish, well, I'll put it to you this way. I hope that this sort of camaraderie and pulling together sticks around as long as we can. I mean, we're destined to go back to some sense of normalcy, but this has been, you're right, it's been very, very nice to see people, going out of their way to make sure everybody else is okay. It's been kind of cool, especially, in these recent years of polarizing media. It's been kind of fun to watch. So Ashwath, thank you so much. Congratulations on your business. I hope it goes well for you. Continued growth and success, young man, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
You too.